Yeah, yeah, hello. Yeah, hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Diaspora Fat. Um I believe, yes, we were. Welcome to Diaspora Fat. This is the program that we have scheduled, and the program is the People's Parliament. Today, this evening, we are going to be discussing on should Valentine be celebrated. But first and foremost, I want to wish everybody happy Valentine. I remain your humble self, Honorable Chris Pedro. As I earlier told you yesterday, under this People's Parliament, every member of this parliament, they are addressed as an honorable. You are an honorable. Wherever you are watching us right now, you are an honorable. You are the only member of this parliament that God has voted for. Everyone were rightfully voted to be a member of this parliament. So don't let anybody tells you that coming to talk about you are not an honorable. I am telling you right now, as a member of the People's Parliament, automatically and by divine grace, you are an honorable. So once again, I want to welcome you to today's program. Should Valentine be celebrated? Should Valentine be celebrated? Our lines will be open for calls. Our line will be open for call, and if you want to call us, you want to contribute to this program, you call the number displaying on your phone right now, +393512461067. Wherever you are calling from, first and foremost, before placing up a call, you have to load down your television set if you are watching us with your television, or if you are watching us with another phone, you have to load down the volume. Don't try to hear yourself talking from the from the YouTube, from whatsoever you are using to watch us. Don't try to listen to yourself talking, because when you try to hear yourself while you are still talking on the phone, and because of the internet delay, you are going to be having some interference. So therefore, before joining us on this program, before contributing your part, make sure you load down the volume of whatsoever set you are watching us from. Once again, I want to welcome you to this program, the People's Parliament on Diaspora Fat. And today, we are going to be addressing, should Valentine be celebrated? For ages now, people have been celebrating Valentine. For ages. For years now, people have been celebrating Valentine. And a lot of people does not know the miseries behind the celebration Valentine. You don't celebrate things not until you understand what that things stand for. For example, there are a lot of people who doesn't celebrate Christmas, and they are Christians. Perhaps they couldn't celebrate Christmas because they feel like Christmas should not be celebrated. Valentine is a day for love, a day for romance, and the day is February 14. For ages now, the word Valentine has been a festival of love, festival of affection, festival of romance. I believe everyone knows that the greatest thing on earth, the greatest virtue a man can possess, is love. Even those of us who are Christians and those of us who are Muslims, we understand that even the Quran and the Bible preaches about love. No religion on earth that doesn't talk about love. So, For you to join us on this platform, Diaspora Fat, on the People's Parliament, you are not making an error. Once again, I want to wish you happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. If you are watching with your spouse, if you are watching with your friend, if you are watching with your children, I would like you to have a handshake with them and tell them happy Valentine. So the question is, should Valentine be celebrated? We will open our line for calls. But before then, we will want to give you some highlights about Valentine. Some fact about Valentine. Across the United States and in most Western countries around the world, people celebrate St. Valentine every February 14 by exchanging candy. They exchange chocolates shaped in an art form. They exchanges flowers and some other lovely gifts between loved ones. But the question is, who is this mysterious saint? And where did these traditions come from? Who is this saint? The Saint Valentine people are celebrating every February 14. Who is this saint? And where does this tradition come from? Where does it come from? That is some of the things we are going to be highlighting on today's program. So today's program is going to be a little bit educative and lovely and so exciting. So before then, don't forget, I remain your humble self, Honorable Chris Pedro. As I told you, anyone who try to contribute to a program like this on the platform of the People's Parliament, automatically he or she becomes an honorable of the Parliament. So if you want to contribute to this program, if you want to wish your loved ones St. Valentine, if you want to wish your loved one happy Valentine's Day, you shall be calling us on the number displaying on your screen right now, and the number is +39 351 246 1067. Please, we want to beg you for some for copyright purposes. Please, before you placing a call, if you are playing music wherever you are, please shut down the music so that the music will not become some background noise on this particular broadcast on the People's Parliament, because trying to play the music into the call, it becomes a copyright on our side. So, who is this mysterious Valentine? Should I celebrate Valentine? Should I join the people celebrate Valentine? Should February 14 be a special day for me? Should I put on black? Should I put on white? Should I put on red? Should I exchange flowers to my spouse? Should I celebrate? Should I eat cake? Just like the way I've done it today. I've just finished eating some certain good, delicious prepared by my wife. Should I give my wife some good kisses? Should I celebrate Valentine? While we know Valentine's Day is the most romantic day on the year, there is plenty more to the holiday that are right and that are not right. Today, we are going to be looking at the history of Valentine. The history of Valentine. Please, we are sorry for that break in transmission. That was some technical issue. We're having some technical issues. So as I was saying, if you have your phone with you, just like this, what you need to do is where you are watching us from right now, for example, the live, the Facebook, the YouTube live that you are watching us from, the YouTube live you are watching us from, the YouTube you are watching us from, you go down to the share button, then it will show you this way, just like this. You take it to the share button, then you share it to your friends on social media platform. Show it to your friends on social media platform. You can share it on Facebook, share it on WhatsApp, share it around. So, here we want to discuss, should Valentine be celebrated? Should Valentine be celebrated? But before then, I want to wish my wife happy Valentine once again. I am wishing my wife happy Valentine. If you have anybody you want to wish, you send down the name of the person. We will publicly write the name of the person, and we will tell the person that you are wishing them happy Valentine. But for right now, I am wishing my wife happy Valentine. And her name is Joy Oshaw. I'm wishing Joy Oshaw happy Valentine. Wishing her happy Valentine from me, Chris Pedro. Please, if you have anybody you want to wish happy Valentine, you can send us the name while we tell the person that you are wishing them happy Valentine. I'm wishing my wife happy Valentine from Chris Pedro. Right now, let's jump into the topic of the day. I told you earlier before now that in Western world, in Western countries, across the United States of America and in most Western countries around the world, people celebrate St. Valentine every February 14 by exchanging candies, flowers, and gifts to their loved ones. But the question is, who is this mysterious saint? And where did these traditions come from? Does this tradition worth celebrating? That is what we are going to be looking at today. But meanwhile, I am wishing my wife, my lovely wife, Mrs. Joy Oshaw Pedro, happy Valentine's Day. So let's jump into the reason why we are here. February 14. Does it worth celebrating? Valentine's Day occurs every February 14, and I believe you already know. But the question is it so special to celebrate February 14? How does it come about? The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Saint Valentine or Valentinus. The Catholic Church have recorded 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred, all of whom were killed for some purposes of love, all of whom whose life were shortened, just the way in the scripture the name Saint Stephen were shortened. Today in Italy we have Saint Stephen Day being celebrated as one of the festival, as one of the martyrs to be remembered as far as the Catholic history is concerned, as far as the church history is concerned. So, the priests, there have been 3 priests that has been recorded in the Catholic named Saint Valentine whose life were shortened for purposes of love. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. Most of you knows that the philosophy of Emperor Claudius II was a true philosophy, saying that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, because single men doesn't have anything to think about. So the purpose of their fighting is more actualized, because they have no family, they have no friends, and no children, no wives. Lay them aside, they will be thinking about. So therefore, they intended to fight for the purpose of fighting. So when Emperor Claudius II came into power, and he decided that marriage should be banned, that men and women shouldn't come together and say to themselves, I've made a vow, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, since they do us apart, we join together as man and a wife, or as a woman and a husband. Then we begin to have children and raise up godly family, worldly family, and also family. So when Emperor Claudius II decided, came up with this philosophy that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and family, when he came up with this philosophy and he discusses with his own elders, so he now placed a ban on marriages. He placed a ban on marriages. And at this time, the church was the custodian of the ceremonial purposes of marriage. And at this time, the church was the main the main institution that was recognizing marriages. So when the ban were placed, the seculars was placed all over the places, including to the priest in the church. And at that time, there were one of the priests whose name was Saint Valentine, who rebelled over the decision made by the Emperor Claudius II, by placing ban on marriage institution. So when Saint Valentine get to head of this particular decree, he realized the injustice of the decree. So he decided to work against the emperor. But in this particular time, when Saint Valentine's realizes the injustice, he continues to engage in secret marriages for men who fall in love with women. I hope you're understanding it. Please, I'm very sorry for our people, because as yesterday we used this pidgin English. That's why yesterday topic was waiting you think. But today, the topic now is, what is your opinion? I decided to use a little bit simple English because of our viewers who are watching us internationally. So, when the priest get to hear about the decree of the Emperor Claudius II, who decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, and because of that, outlawed marriage for young men, banned marriage for young men. So when the priest Saint Valentine realizes this injustice of the decree, he defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. Just like what some of us may do today. Even we know of some children, even in those days in Africa, when mothers would tell you that, hey, don't give this boy anything again. And when you came from a rich home and you saw another poor child who came from a poor home, and maybe the parents won, don't give anything to that poor. If I don't associate with him because of some status racism of status, don't associate with him or her. But the young boy, being a godly heart, goes secretly to also associate with this person who came from this poor background, unaware to the mother, and the process violating the mother's instructions, therefore becoming a disobedient child to the parents. Now, when the saint heard of this decree of the Emperor Claudius II, he decided, having investigated the decree and seen the injustice of the decree, he defies the Emperor Claudius' decision or instruction or decree, as it may be put, law, that marriage should be banned, and continues to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. But what happened next? Everything done in the secret one day must be exposed. On a very fateful day, Valentine's action was discovered by the Emperor Claudius II. And being an emperor, being a king, he ordered that Saint Valentine, the priest, who have defied his order, should be put to death. He ordered that the priest who have defied his order should be put to death. Okay, I hope you're understanding the history behind this particular incident. But what is certain about this incident? We are discussing about one legend now, whose name is Saint Valentine. In the late probably AD 270 thereabout. In the late AD 270s, that is after the death of Jesus, 270 years after the death of Jesus. That was when this Valentine existed, who defied the Claudius. But a lot of people never believe that the Saint Valentine that we are celebrating now wasn't a day to commemorate the good legacy that Saint Valentine has placed down by defying or by continuing wedding young lovers in secret. Some other peoples believe it was another Valentine that they are celebrating, who as well was a saint in the Catholic, was a saint, was a bishop. Other people believes that this festival, this Saint Valentine festival, was cloned, was as a result of another saint, not that one who defies the order of the Emperor Claudius II by continuing wedding people young lovers in secret, who was put to death as a result of disobedience or disobedience of the emperor. Many believe that it was another saint who reigned during Claudius' tenure. Another who reigned during Claudius' tenure, a bishop, who was the true namesake of this particular one we just narrated the history. He too was beheaded by Claudius II, Emperor Claudius II, who sentenced the first Valentine to death. Some people believe that it was this Saint Valentine Teni, who was a bishop at another circumstances during the reign of this Emperor Claudius II. They believe that Emperor Claudius II beheaded this bishop, this saint, because he allowed or he helped other people, some of the Christians that was captured during his time, that disobeyed his order and was imprisoned. This particular bishop helped in rescuing their life to escape out of Rome. But the question is whether this celebration was linked to the first Valentine that we narrated about, who secretly wed lovers during the ban of marriage, or it was the Valentine, the Saint Valentine, who allowed Christians to escape from prison out of Rome because of the same Emperor Claudius II wickedness. But whether it was of the first or of the second, the story beyond their death is humanity and love. Most of the services they render it was more or less like a humanitarian services, which is embedded in love. You understand what we are saying now? So, in conclusion, Valentine is like a festival embedded in love. Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons. During the reign of this Emperor Claudius II, Christians were facing harsh Roman prisons because there were laws that were coming up on daily basis to enforce Christians to do certain things that were not of God. So therefore, a lot of them were imprisoned. The church were ridiculed. The church were reduced to the lowest minimum. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting. That was another Valentine. I told you before now that the Roman Catholic have recorded 3 different priests, 3 different saints who bear the same name, Valentine. So people believe that the history of Valentine comes from one of these 3 saints. I hope you are getting what we are saying. But I'm going to pause a little bit, and I want to see how many people we are actually talking to right now. Please, if you are enjoying this particular broadcast, we're going to beg you to please share by clicking the share button. Share to your loved ones. Share to them until they get to see you and until they start watching the program. Because the purpose why we are here is to educate and to relate with each other should Valentine be celebrated. That is the purpose why we are actually here. So if you know quite all right that you are enjoying this particular parliament, just press the share button and share to your loved ones. Share to your friends. It's very easy to share. So there is an aspect we want to really talk about now. A lot of people never buy the idea of celebrating Valentine. A lot of people, even till now, never accepted that Valentine, the celebration of this St. Valentine, which we are now right now, is embedded on these three priests who are named Valentine. Now, the question is, I haven't seen these particular stories. I haven't seen these stories that we have been narrating. The question is, why shouldn't I celebrate Valentine? Why shouldn't I go to the market, buy some cake in an design in an art form? Why shouldn't I go to the market and buy some chocolate for my loved ones? Why shouldn't I? Somebody died for the purpose of marriage, and here I am enjoying marriage with my wife. Why couldn't I celebrate the person who died for the purpose of marriage? If the law of the order of Emperor Claudius II wasn't fought and marriage was actually banned even to this extent, I would have ended up not having a wife. I would have ended up not having a husband as a female. So do you think I would have even ended up not having a fiance or fiancé? I would have ended up not even having a lover. So, do you think that it's worth celebrating because somebody disobeyed the order that can even warrant to death? Somebody did the order that can even warrant to death. If you want to call us on this program, you can call the number displaying on your screen. Displaying on your screen right now. And the number is +39 351 246 1067. The reason why you need to call this number is because when you call this number, the people is going to hear you. And the person you are wishing happy Valentine is going to hear you speak to he or she directly. So it is even more better to share the video to the person while wishing the person happy Valentine's Day. It is more better. Some men cannot actually wish somebody happy Valentine because they are embedded in secrecy. Now, I haven't heard of the stories that was embedded in love. The question is, why would some people not celebrate Valentine? Why will some people still decided that Valentine shouldn't be celebrated? You understand what we are saying? Now, the question is, there is another secret misery behind Valentine. That is why the People's Parliament is for you. There is another mystery behind Valentine. And what is that mystery? That is what we are going to be looking at. Some people believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of St. Valentine's death or burial, which probably occurred around the time we have given before. But there are a lot of people who claimed that the Christian church, particularly the Catholic denomination, may have decided to place St. Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan celebration known as Lupercalia. The pagan celebration of Lupercalia. Now, what is this Lupercalia of a thing? What is Lupercalia? Lupercalia was an ancient pagan festival held each year in Rome on February 15. Coincidence. There was a very big festival that was being held in Rome, an ancient pagan festival for the Romans. An ancient pagan festival for the Romans, or for the Romulus or Remus. At that time, they were called the Romulus and the Remus, because the ancient Romans were Latin-speaking people. So they were known as the Romulus, and the Remus. Now, before this Valentine issue of a thing, the festival was being celebrated. There was an ancient pagan festival that was being celebrated in the middle of, close to the middle, particularly, specifically on the 15th of February. Now, this festival is named, the name of the festival was Lupercalia. Lupercalia. That is Lupercalia. Let me quickly write it down so that you get to understand what we are talking about. You can Google it, you can find it anywhere. Where do I put it now? Let me put it here. Lupercalia. Okay, Lupercalia. Think something like this. Guess something like this. Lupercalia. Let me bring it up for you to see. There was an ancient pagan festival celebrated by the Romulus or the Remus, which was ancient Romans, celebrated in Rome. And the festival was known as Lupercalia. And it was a pagan festival, not the festival of the church, not the festival of the saint, but an ancient festival. unlike the present day St. Valentine, which is peaceful, which indicate peace, love, affection, and romance, Lupercalia was more or less a violent, brutal, fetish, was full of violence. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how do they celebrate this festival? This festival, as I earlier told you, is called Lupercalia, and it was known as the festival of fertility. The festival of fertility. You know what fertility is? That is the festival of which other word should I use for festility? Festility. Okay, let's take it down under dictionary.com. Let's take it down under dictionary.com. We take it down to google.com. Okay, let me bring you down to google.com. Oh my God. How do I get google.com? Let me open here. Let me take down to google.com. I will add a window capture. Okay. Existing. Let me capture this window. I can't get this window. Why? Okay. I can't get this Google. I was trying to bring down Google, so but I can't get it. Try to bring you what? Okay, right. Yeah, here we are. I'll try to find some word, the meaning of some word, and to avoid copyright, there are a lot of things we don't do. We'll try to find the fertility. What is dictionary.com? What is try to fertility to be fertile. Fertility. Okay. Okay. Wikipedia. I don't know whether dictionary Wikipedia can tell us that it's copyright. Okay. Fertility. This article is about fertility in human and the fertility. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I think I should take it like, what is fertility? What is fertility? Yes, this is what I've written. To be fertile. To be fertile. I need another word. Okay. To be productive. Yeah. To be productive. I think I got another word for that. Yes. Lupercalia was a festival of fertility. That is a festival that makes people fertile. That was what they believed. But it was an ancient pagan Roman festival celebrated by the ancient Romulus and Remus. But how did they do this? But remember, this festival in the ancient days were celebrated around the middle of February. specifically February 15, according to historians. But Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Famus, the Roman god of agriculture. The Roman god of agriculture. That god there is small letter G, because it was not of the Almighty. It was not of the Almighty, it was of the pagan gods. So one of the gods in the pagan tradition of the Roman, it was called Famus, and it was the god with small letter G of agriculture. Agriculture, as you know, is likened to humans because they are living as well. So when you're talking about fertility, you can more or less relate it more to crops than to humans. But these particular rituals, this particular idol pagan festival was for the crops fertility and for the human fertility. So how did they do this? How did they do this? In the beginning, when the Romulus and the Remus, the founders of Romans, the founders of Rome, when they came initially to Rome, there wasn't any place for them. So they hid themselves in a sacred cave. You know what a cave is? C-A-V-E, a cave. A cave, like a place built with a natural structures, either like with a block, with rock, or with stones. But it exists naturally, not like a hut that you build by yourself, not a house that you start laying bricks and you build by yourselves, not a cabin, not an inn, like the place Jesus was born, that you build with handmade. But this cave exists on a natural order. It can be rock with holes in it. Holes whereby you can go in and sleep like a house. It can be stones arranged together whereby you can have some little space, you can go in and lay your head like a room. So when the forefathers, when the founders of Rome came to Rome, they hid themselves in this cave. While they were in this cave, it was believed that a she-wolf cared for them. You understand what I'm saying? It was believed by the founders of Rome, the Romulus and the Remus, that while they were hiding themselves in that cave, she-wolves were coming there. She-wolf known as Lupa, the little sheep. I think there's a place in Rome that built, there's a structure in Rome. Let me look for it. If I can get it. Let's go back to Google. Or do we have Google? Okay, let's go back to Google. Let's see if we can get Lupa Roma. Okay, let's take it like this. Lupa Roma. We are going to take it like a brief and okay, look at this. If this video is subject to copyright, we can take it off. The Lupa Roma. This is a she-wolf. So we take it off on time so that whenever we are asked to remove it as a copyright object, we can quickly edit it and leave it out. No, YouTube is full of principles and we enjoy their principles. The she-wolf, while they were hiding themselves in that cave, it was believed that she-wolf came and were caring for them. So, because of this process, because of this that the she-wolves have done, they decided to celebrate what the she-wolves did for them, and they set up a festival to commemorate the actions of the she-wolf. And that is why they set up this pagan worship, this pagan festival known as Lupercalia. That was how they set up this pagan festival. So Lupercalia, by the order of the founders of Rome, the Romulus and the Remus, Lupercalia becomes an order of festival. So the issue is this. So a lot of people believe that Valentine, because it was slated, I'm sorry, I'm coming a little bit. Valentine, because it was slated coincidentally on this particular day. So people believe it doesn't worth celebrating because it was coinciding exactly or almost exactly so the sanctified date of the pagan festival known as the Lupercalia. You understand what we have been saying? You understand what we are saying? Now, what then happened? The question is, how did they celebrate this pagan festival? How did Lupercalia celebrated? To begin the festival of Lupercalia, members of the Luperci, the word Luper is synonymous to leopard. So, members of the Luperci, they are the Roman priests. If you go to Rome today, you'll see a lot of temples, ancient temples for tourism, ancient temple that was built by the Luperci, where the priests of Roman. When we talk about the priests of Roman, we are not talking about the Catholic priest, the church priest. We are talking about the priest of Roman, the Luperci. Now, to begin the festival of Lupercalia, these priests, the order of Roman priests, they will gather themselves at a sacred cave, the same cave where the infant Romulus and the Remus were the founders of Rome, of Roma, were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf or a luper. They will gather themselves at the beginning of this festival. They will gather themselves there. The priests of Roma gather themselves in that cave because they not believe that the cave was a sacred cave. They will gather themselves there. And there, the priest will sacrifice a goat, G-O-A-T, for fertility, and a dog for purification. 2 animals will be sacrificed. A goat for fertility and a dog for purification. They will then peel the skin of the goat, the head of the goat. They will peel it off and dip it in the blood of these animals and go to the streets of Rome and then sprinkle the blood. They start whipping, touching, striking the women and crops in the city. They will be sanctifying them with the blood, dipping the heat of the goat skin that they peeled into the blood and whipping it on the women and on the crops, on the feed. What was the significance? They believed that every woman who would receive the touch of the blood in the next coming year becomes fertile. Is blessed. She's blessed. She will be blessed with the spirit of fertility, the spirit of productivity, the spirit to produce, to bear children. So, and every crops that touches the blood, they will be filled with the spirit of fertility. And at that time, people take them to places, bring out their wives, young ladies come there, come to the street and receive the touch of these things, and people take them to their farm and receive the touch on their crops, the blood on the crops, for the crops to be fertile in the next coming year. This has been the celebration of the festival Lupercalia, done by the Luperci and order of the Roman priests, sacrificing a goat at the sacred cave for fertility and a dog for purification. I hope you are getting the story. That is not all. Along the festival, after sprinkling the blood on them, it was believed that young maidens, yes, maidens, the good word for it, young maidens, young women will come to the place, and in that place, they will write their name and put the name in a big horn. U-R-O-N. On. Let me show you what that on is. What is on? U-R-O-N. Another word for on. Where do I bring it up? Okay, let me go down here. Let me bring it up here. Okay. On. They will go there, young ladies who are looking for spouse, who are looking for love. They will go there, write their names, and place the name in a big on. What is on? On is a vase. A vase. This is an on. This is an on. Let me show it to you very well so that you can see that. Okay. This is an on. For example, big vase. V-A-S-E. V-A-S-E or B-C-E. They will go there and place their name in this particular vase. after receiving the touch of the blood. After receiving the touch of the blood. And then young men who believed to be married will go there in that vase, dip their hands into different vase, and pick up a name. And any name that was written there, they will cleave to the young girl and eventually become married to that maiden. This has been the pagan festival celebrated in Rome by the Romulus and the Remus, the forefathers, the forefounders of the Roman. The festival of Lupercalia for fertility and for unionship. The city's bachelor would each year choose a name and become paired for the year, and anyone that chooses eventually becomes their wife. Eventually becomes their wife. But one thing was certain. Lupercalia was there for ancient years, for a very long time. Not until Lupercalia were surviving for a very long time. And when the Christianity started rising, they outlawed Lupercalia. Because Lupercalia was deemed an unchristian belief at the end of the 5th century, when Pope Gelasius declared February 14 St. Valentine's Day. So February 14 celebration as this Valentine's Day celebration was actually declared by Pope Gelasius. The Pope came up and he placed a ban on the celebration of Lupercalia, deeming it to be a fetish and a pagan festival. And so he cloned another celebration which we are enjoying today. The most wonderful love day on that particular day. Perhaps not just as that, but a day before Lupercalia celebration, which was February 14. You understand that? But it was not until much later that the day became definitively associated with love. During the Middle Ages, it was commonly believed in France and England that February 14 was the beginning of bells mating. Bells, you know bells. It was actually in France and in England. They believed that February 14 was the month that bird mate. Bird mate. You know what mate is? Where they come together and have them together, and they become fertile. That was how February 14 was cloned as a love day. Synonymous to a natural process of the mating of bird, which added to the idea that the middle of Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. That was how the whole thing came from. because it was believed in England and in France that February is a month of with birds. So I will urge you now to start looking for birds on February 14. Look at the actions, study the actions. In February, you will see birds flying together in pairs, and they begin to have some. They'll start having some quack 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 together. So this was the story behind the celebration. These are the story behind the celebration. Now, the question is, should Valentine be celebrated? That is the question. Should I celebrate Valentine? That is the question. Should I celebrate Valentine? If I have to celebrate Valentine because of the actions of what St. Valentine did, fighting over the injustice of a wicked and selfish Emperor Claudius II, who actually placed a ban on marriage because he believed in his philosophy that single men made better soldiers than men with wives and children and family. So if somebody could die for a purpose as important as marriage, the most wonderful union or institution that man could experience or woman could experience, do you think that St. Valentine's Day worth celebrating? Right now, I want to start receiving calls. If you are watching us, anywhere you are watching us from, give us a call. And if you think St. Valentine's Day worth celebrating, call us and we will put your call to the public. While you call us, turn down the volume of your set that you are watching us from, and then speak to us and tell us who you want to wish happy Valentine. Who do you want to wish happy Valentine? Is Valentine worth celebrating? Should we celebrate Valentine? And how do I celebrate Valentine? But while we are waiting for calls, there is some particular thing I want to let you understand in this particular place. There was an important man who wrote the English poet. He became the first man to have celebrated St. Valentine as a day of romance. In his 1,375 poem titled Parliament of Falses, writing for this was sent to St. Valentine's Day. This man wrote a poem, and this poem was full of romance. Does Valentine worth celebrating? That is the question. Does it worth celebrating? Let's talk about some of the facts that has been recorded every 14th of February. Do you know that the country with the most spending in Valentine's Day is the United States of America? You are just hearing that for the first time. The United States of America, right from the government to the least person, spend on Valentine's Day. Budgets are placed for this celebration, just like Christmas. Budgets were placed, just like Christmas. Valentine. According to historians, billions are used for purchases. Hallmark is the greatest firm for the highest production of cards on Valentine's Day. Hallmark. People spend billions of dollars for the celebration of St. Valentine. Heart-shaped chocolates were given to friends and family. Cards with some romantic expressions will be exchanged to friends and families. Candy heart-shaped red roses to cute card and romantic gifts with loved ones will be exchanged among themselves. St. Valentine. The question is, does it worth celebrating? Does it worth celebrating? If you are watching us right now, wherever you are watching us from, you can place a call to us and tell us that with this that we have said so far, does Valentine worth celebrating? And if you say it's worth celebrating, you tell us who you are celebrating it with. So our lines are open for calls. You can share your comments on the comment section. Tell us who you are celebrating St. Valentine with. We'll take a pause now and actually hear from you. Let's hear from you. Place a call and tell us who you are celebrating with. Should Valentine be celebrated? Does it worth celebrating? If you say yes, you let us understand who you are celebrating it with. And if you say no, you let us understand the purpose why you shouldn't celebrate Valentine. Does it worth celebrating Valentine? We are waiting for calls. In a few minutes, we couldn't get a call. We can call it a day for today. You can join us again whenever we are live. But remember, this is the People's Parliament. Tell us your opinion. Should Valentine be celebrated? What do you think concerning the Valentine's Day? Should we celebrate Valentine? Should Valentine be celebrated? We'll take a little break now and wait for a calls. We just wait for a call for like 3 minutes. And we couldn't get the call. We'll call it a day from here. The minute is already counting down. And we are waiting for you to share to us your idea. Why should we celebrate Valentine? Does it worth celebrating? And if you say it's worth celebrating, Who are you celebrating it with? Who you want to wish Valentine? Start wishing. If you think that Valentine worth celebrating, wish someone you love. Tell them happy Valentine. Our lines are open for calls. Just call us and tell us who you want to wish happy Valentine. The minute is already running down. 1 minute is up. And the next 2 minutes will be ending the program. But if we got a call, we might extend the minutes. But in the next 2 minutes, we'll be ending the program right now. Do you think Valentine worth celebrating? If Valentine worth celebrating, then who are you celebrating it with? Who are you celebrating it with? Wish your loved ones happy Valentine. If you think that it was celebrating, if you think it doesn't worth celebrating, the line you are going to call if you want to place a call is +393512461067. Wish your loved ones happy Valentine. We are here to join you to wish your loved ones happy Valentine. Call the number on WhatsApp on direct line +393512461067. We want to hear your comments. What do you think? What is your opinion over Valentine? And the number you are going to call is +393512461067. Tell us what you feel concerning Valentine. Do you think Valentine worth celebrating? We are here for you to join you to wish your loved one happy Valentine. Call the number on your screen right now. If you think it has no purpose of celebrating Valentine, tell us why you shouldn't celebrate Valentine. Do you think that dying for institution like marriage, you can speak the dialect of your choice, you can speak any language of your choice. Speak Pidgin, our Obodo Niger language. Speak anything. Wish your loved one happy Valentine. If you think that it isn't necessary to wish my loved one happy Valentine, then you tell us why you are not celebrating Valentine. That is the topic for today. Should Valentine be celebrated? Do you think that it's worth celebrating? Do you think it was celebrating? We are waiting for calls. We are waiting for calls right now. And the number you are going to call is +393512461067. Okay, now that we couldn't get a call, we'll call it a day for you. But once again, we want to thank you for joining us on the People's Parliament under the platform Diaspora Fact. We thank you once again, and we want to wish you happy Valentine's Day. We thank you and we wish you happy Valentine's Day. And we say that you keep on sharing Diaspora Fact and you keep on watching our video. Keep on commenting on our video. But for now, we are calling it a day. For now, we are calling it a day. Thank you very much for watching Diaspora Fact. And once again, don't forget, I remain your elbow host, Chris Pedro. Meditate on it. Should Valentine be celebrated? Whenever you have questions to ask concerning Valentine, don't forget to leave it on the comment section, and we believe that we will help you over whatsoever you are looking for. But before now, we say peace out. Ciao. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.